Hello everyone, welcome to FinastroTrader.com website. I'm preparing this video for my website and just to educate everyone as how the planets influence work on financial markets. And I'm not going to explain why it works. You can read up on my website, FinastroTrader.com, why the planets have an influence on Earth and that way on the financial markets. So I've just kind of explained that on my website, but I'm going to show this video, preparing this video to show you how it works, because there are a lot of questions, how accurate this is and how it works, and can you show me the impact on financial markets. So that's why I'm preparing this video. Okay, and if you are interested in my other videos or how it why it works, etc., you can check out my YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search for FinastroTrader. Okay, and you'll get to my channel. Okay, you can take a look at it. And so here is a chart of ES, and so since like last year around this time in October, you can see that last year around September, October, we had the market top, and from there market tanked, and then we had a recovery in January, and then we had a little bit of pullback going into June, and then another recovery with another high in July, and then we put in a top in July, and then market tanked. August was kind of a little choppy here. Then September was the recovery, and then we have first half was the recovery, and then we have September second half we had a market retesting this low again, and then we are trying to recover this. Okay, so how does it work? So what I have done is, let me, before I explain how it works, I just need to show you how we look at or assess the market timing. So each of this, what I'm going to show you today is how a planetary event has occurred before or on the day of each of these turns. Each of these turns, you will see that there was a planet. This has caused because of a planetary event. Okay, so and I can show you even the small swings like this. So not all of them, in the interest of time, but most of these small swings also has caused because of a planetary event. So each of these swings in ES, right? And it's pretty much the same for ES or NQ or YM, or or if you are trading Spider, SPX, IWM, and RTY or Russell or NDX. You just pick any index and you will see a correlation to a planetary event. Okay, that's what I'm going to show you. Okay, and for that, now we just don't trade without a calendar. We need to see what are the planetary events. So otherwise, how would we know when the market is going to take a turn, right? So we work with an astrologer from India and then prepare this chart here. You can see this today is October 10th, so October 14th, sorry, Monday. Okay, that's the chart. Now this is kind of a little reverse here because of the Indian way of denoting the date. Date first, month second, and then the year. Okay, so what do you see here? This is a calendar that we prepare, that we get our astrologer prepare every month. Okay, so this has all the information that we need to know when the market turn is going to come. Okay, so what are we looking at? So if you look at this square here, okay, this square here, okay, this represents the 12 signs that you are aware of. Basically that is Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, right? And we start from here actually. So this is Aries, okay, this is Taurus, and this square, third one is Gemini, then Cancer, then this is Leo, and then we have Virgo here, then we have Libra, okay, and then Scorpio, then Sagittarius, okay, and Capricorn, and next is Aquarius, and the last house is Pisces right here. Okay, that's the last house. So we start from here actually, Aries. Okay, so now these are basically, these letters here, they represent the planets. Okay, we look at 9 planets. So how now 9 planets doesn't include, so we look at it, or we analyze the market from Vedic astrology perspective. Okay, so we don't look at Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Okay, so now these are all the knowledge that has come from ancient sages back in India, okay, who have observed human beings and animals, and then came up with this, made it almost like a science, that the impact that these planets have, or their magnetic field has on Earth, when we didn't have any technology. Just imagine that. Hats off to them, okay, for coming up with such a science. Okay, now so if you look at this, you'll see letters here. MO stands for moon. Okay, this is ascendant. Now what is an ascendant? Ascendant is the sign that shows up in the east at the time of market open. So if you look at it, it's 9:30 Eastern, right, when the market opens. So these are the planet positions at the time of market open, looking at New York Stock Exchange, basically. So that's what they represent. And so MO is moon, ascendant. Okay, and then we have, I'll come to this here. So SU stands for sun, MA stands for Mars, ME stands for Mercury, VE stands for Venus, JU stands for Jupiter, and SA stands for Saturn. So we look at that 7. We consider sun and moon are also planets, because we are looking at, see, this is Earth. Okay, so remember that this is a geocentric view. Okay, as opposed to our knowledge that everything revolves around sun, but we are looking at everything moving around Earth. We are looking at a geocentric view. So this is Earth, and somewhere here we have our little stock exchange sitting in New York, right, and executing all our trades. So these are planetary positions around Earth at the time of market open every day. So we look at, you can look at this. This is last week's. So every day we have these moving around, right, changing. Okay. So there are 2 more elements that we look at. So we don't look at Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Somehow, I think the ancient sages have found out that the effect of those planets are much lesser on Earth compared to the other 7. Okay, and then they have brought in 2 more elements. That's called Rahu. RA stands for Rahu. Okay, you can see it here also. Okay, Rahu. Okay, and Ketu here. You can see KE stands for Ketu. What are these? These are north node and south node. This is nothing but it's kind of a they are called as a shadow planet. So in Western astronomy, they are called as the north node and the south node, called as the shadow planets. So what are those? These are basically magnetic fields that's created, or kind of because of Earth and Moon's magnetic field. They create a shadow magnetic field, and that's what these are. Okay, so this is North Pole, or this is South Pole, basically. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, now other than that, we have some information in here. You can see that all 9 planets listed here. Okay, and you can see their sign in here, and then their degrees, and then there is a star. So this is very important from a Vedic astrology perspective, because if you look at these signs, right, it takes a very long time. Such as like a Jupiter spends about 1 year to transition from one sign to another, because remember that Jupiter takes 12 years to go around the sun, and same number of years to go around Earth too, right? So it takes 1 year. So sometimes we may need a little bit more granular data, and that's why we look at these stars. These stars kind of divides these into 2.5 times. Basically, each of these signs are divided to 2.25. Okay, and that's why we look at these stars. And for faster planets, they may not be as useful, such as Mercury, Venus. They are faster planets, but for Jupiter, Saturn, they are very important. Okay, and Saturn spends about 2.5 years. Jupiter spends about 1 year in a sign. Okay, Mars spends about 60 days in a sign. Okay, because it takes about 22 months to go around Sun. Okay, and then Rahu and Ketu also approximately around the same time. Okay, so it's about a year and a half to in one sign. Basically, they take about 18.5 years to go around Sun. Okay, so other than that, then we have these load, because each of these stars, these are stars. Basically, these are a cluster of stars that are outside our galaxy. okay, and that's what they are, and they have an associated load too. You don't need to pay much attention, but I'm just showing you this because this is what we call as an association. So each planet has an association with certain loads, certain other planets basically, and their relationship, whether it's an enemy relationship, friendship relationship, they are listed here, and each of the planets have got their own habits also. Some of them are bullish, some of them are bearish. That's also listed here. So we get this calendar prepared from our astrologer. Okay, and other than that, we have another factor here, which is basically called the external vibration factor. The relationship between each other planets. For example, when a planet comes at 180 degree, which means that here and then here, they have an influence. Okay, so they are at they are called as an opposition, 180 degree to each other, and they exert certain magnetic force on Earth. Remember that Earth is right in the middle. Okay, so certain magnetic force. So that is what is listed here. Okay, so with this information and with this planetary movement and with this relationship, we can pretty accurately determine when the next turn is going to come. Okay, and that's what you're going to see, and so and then you don't need to worry about this part here. So this is a moon transition that's meant for day traders, who are futures traders. If you are trading futures, or if you are trading day trading, any type of day trading, and then these timings are important. Otherwise you don't need to look at it. So we just need to look at this. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my chart here. As I said that this is what we are going to see, and I'm going to prove to you that each of these turns have happened because of a planetary event. So from that calendar, I can determine which planetary event is coming up next, and then whether it's going to take a turn or not. Okay, so I'm going to show you that. I'm going to go back to this. This is a mask chart. You can see that this chart is cut off at 9/11/18. You can see that at the bottom. You see the date there, 9/11. So last year September 11. Okay, we had kind of a low here, and then market started moving higher. And I have since then major or most of the important planetary events I have marked on the chart here. Okay, and I'm going to do a play button here. Hit a play button here, so you can see the price action. So on on September 21st, we had an event. Sun moved into Tropic of Libra. This is when actually the fall starts, right? So so you can see that that happened to be a top in our market last year. You can see it has put in a top, and then the market started coming down here. So next event was on 10/11/18. Okay, let's see what happened on 10/11/18. Okay, so as we advance this, okay, and you can see that market is coming down here. Okay, market just started moving with a great momentum. There you go. This is 10/11. You can say that 10/11 ascendant changed from Libra to Scorpio. Remember that ascendant I talked about in the calendar, which is the first sign that shows up at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time every day. That's called the ascendant. Okay, so that changed, and then from there it moved up, and then there's a 3 days we had a price moving up, and Sun moved. Okay, on 10/17 Sun moved from Virgo to Libra, and that caused a market top here, and from there market started coming down. And then we had 10/19/18, we had a market bottom. Why? Because Mercury moved from Libra to Scorpio. Now I'm not going to go back to the calendar and show you everything, because in the interest of time, otherwise this is going to be a pretty long video. Okay, I just wanted to show you, maybe time permits, I'll show you a couple of them later, okay, once we are done. So from here we got a bottom here and started moving higher, and then Mars entered Aquarius sign on 11/8/18. That gave us a high. You see that? Okay, and from there market started tanking, and then we have Jupiter, Sun and Mercury in conjunction on 11/23/2019. Remember, oh, this is it's supposed to be 2018, not 2019. I made a mistake here. So you can see this, the 11/23/2018 we had a bottom here because of the conjunction, and from there market started recovering, and till the next event, planetary event, which was Sun and Mars at 90 degree and Mercury, Rahu and 180 degree on 12/03/18. So December 3rd we had a high because of this planetary event. This is an external vibration factor. From there, market started moving down, and we got a small bottom here. So that's when Mercury changed its association back to Mercury in retrograde. Okay, Mercury went into retrograde. So 12, 10, 18. So that is December 10th. From there, we moved up and then kind of didn't sustain, came down, and market started tanking, and then until Mars entered Pisces from Aquarius. That's when the market recovered. Or this, this was basically December 24th, we had a low here. From there, market moved up, and then we had a small pullback here when Mercury moved from Scorpio to Sagittarius on 102.19, and from there, market started moving up. And you can even look at this one also. I haven't done that actually. So you can correlate that to a. I haven't marked it here, but you can always take a look at even minute swings in the market. That's caused because of some type of planetary event. And from there, we got a high here. Mars moved from Pisces to Aries on 2/6/19. Okay, so February 6th, we got a small high here. Then small pullback until Mercury moved from Capricorn to Aquarius on 2/8/19. We got a low here. Okay, from there, market started recovering or moving up until next planetary event, that is 3/04/19. You can see that 3/04 ascendant changed from Pisces to Aries on 3/04/19. We got a little bit of top here. Okay, and you can see 225, that's a 3/04. Okay, and from there we got a small pullback when Rahu and Ketu entered Gemini and Capricorn sign from Taurus and Sagittarius. Okay, so remember that Rahu and Ketu are 180 degree. We got a small pullback, and that gave us a small bottom here, and then market started recovering again. Okay, so each of these relationship can also be found out, whether market is likely to move up or down. Okay, and from there it started moving higher, and until next event. You can look at this one also. Then there was a planetary event, or even for the small swing as well. I haven't marked it. Okay, and Saturn changed its motion from direct to retrograde. Now Saturn is pretty powerful, and Saturn has a major influence in our market, and it causes the trend change basically. Okay, Saturn and Jupiter are bigger planets. They causes the trend change, and I'll just cut another video about Saturn itself. Okay, so Saturn's power in the market. So you can see 501, so 429. You can see that 501. You see that Saturn changed its motion from direct to retrograde, 501. Okay, and from there we started tanking, and then you can see here we came down, and until next planetary event, which was Sun moved from Aries to Taurus on 5/15/19. Okay, and then market moved for 2-3 days until the next planetary event. Mercury moved from Aries to Taurus on 5/18/19. Okay, and that was the top, and then from there market started tanking, and then Mercury moved from Taurus to Gemini on 6/03/2019, and we got a bottom there. Okay, from here you should see market started moving higher here. Okay, until the next event, which is Sun moved from Gemini to Cancer. Okay, on 7/17/29. Now you can verify all these information. Okay, you can take a screenshot and then verify it from elsewhere. And there are quite a few resources available. Maybe from NASA website or some software and things like that. But market started moving higher here. Okay, and until 7/17/2019. Okay, so you can see, you'll see a high here, and that is 705. Okay, that's 715. There it is, 716. 715 was the top. So 717 we got Sun moved from Gemini to Cancer. That gave us a top, and from there we got a pullback, small pullback for 3-4 days, where until we saw a small bottom here when Venus moved from Gemini to Cancer on 7/22/2019. From there market started moving lower. okay, until the next event, which was Sun and Jupiter at 120 degree on 8/06/29. That's August 6, 2019. If you remember that, we had a big market move down, right? We were able to see that and predict that actually, and then that caused the market to bottom and then went up a little bit until 8/12/2019. And I'll show you why we had a big swing up and down. There is another video that I released last week, so you can take a look at it, titled Financial Hurricane Brewing. Okay, you can watch that video. So we had a small top here. Jupiter went from retrograde to direct on 8/12, and that caused market to form a top and came down. Venus moved until Venus moved from Cancer to Leo on 8/16/2019, and then it's kind of a little chop because there are 4 planets together moving. Okay, and so we had quite a few planetary events, and that's what caused this big volatile swings, okay, in the market. So you can see Mercury moved from Cancer to Leo on 8/26/2019. Okay, that gave us a bottom eventually, and then market started recovering until September 18th. Okay, so you'll see September 18th of 2019 we got a high. Why? Because Saturn went into direct motion from retrograde. Remember that Saturn has a major influence on our market. Okay, Saturn went into direct motion from retrograde, we got a high, and from there we slowly started coming down, okay, until 10/04/2019. When Venus moved from Virgo to Libra. Okay, so we'll see that. Okay, and okay, there it is. So that is the bottom. Okay, and from there we had another retest and then started moving higher from there. Okay, so that's where we are. So you can see that I showed you, using my playback button, I showed you, okay, from 1 year worth of swings. This is 1 year worth of swings in years. Okay, I look at years. Why? Because remember that planets are always moving, right? And years is pretty much 24 or 23 hours, right? Is traded around the clock. It's traded across the globe. So I like to look at futures, ES, YM, RTY, and NQ. Okay, and 1 year worth of swings I showed you by marking major planetary events, how they have impacted, how they have sent the market sometimes to the upside, sometimes to the downside. Okay, now do I know when the next event is gonna come? You bet. Okay, so we know exactly when the next event is gonna come. Okay, and we know what type of relationship, what type of move it's likely to have to. So this is how well we can predict the market, okay, based on financial astrology. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that just by taking you back 1 year back and then showing you how each swing in SPX has formed, or in our indices, any index that you can think of has formed because of a major planetary event. Okay, so you can always verify this, so you can see this. I can just quickly show you a couple of them. Venus moved from Virgo to Libra. Saturn went into direct from retrograde on 9/18. Okay, so if I can go back to this, so you can see 9/04, 10/04 here. You can see that Venus, you see that Venus is here, right? Venus is here, and next day 4/10, which is October 4th, it moved from Virgo to Libra. Okay, and that's why we saw this bottom here. Similarly, you can see why this high was formed. Saturn went into direct motion from retrograde on 9/18/2019. For that, I need to bring up September calendar. So this is September calendar. If you look at it, 9/18, you see Saturn is marked. So our astrologer marks this in red when it's a retrograde. Okay, you can see that highlight will be gone there. 19, see that 18th was the last day when Saturn was in retrograde, and 19, that highlight is gone. Why? Because Saturn went into direct from retrograde, and that gave us a market high. So similarly, I can show you from the calendar, each of these planetary events that has happened, So in the interest of time, I'm not going to show everything, but you can verify that from elsewhere. So hope it helps, and this is exactly how we predict the market, and this is how predictable it is, So market is predictable with about 90% accuracy. Okay. So hope it helps, and if you want to know more information, you can ping me. You can send your information, and also learn more about the mentorship program. We offer a mentorship program. You can learn about different services. You can check out that on my website. Okay. So hope it helps, and talk to you later.